My best friend was standing at the altar in a stunning white gown. Without a word, I stormed onto the stage and in front of all her friends and family, slapped her, twice, hard. Her husband, her parents, her in-laws, not a single one of them moved to stop me. As she stared at me in stunned silence, I raised my hand again. She screamed in terror. "I'm calling the police!" Her husband grabbed her wrist. "You call them," he warned, his voice like ice, "and this wedding is off." Before I laid a hand on her, I asked a very serious question. "Why did you choose a white dress?" My best friend, Rosalie, didn't even hesitate. What else is a bride supposed to wear? A cold dread washed over me. I walked up to her and swung, a maid of honor striking the bride. It was unheard of. A wave of murmurs rippled through the guests. They were all trying to guess what kind of feud Rosalie and I had. What could possibly drive me to attack her on the most important day of her life? The sudden slap sent Rosalie stumbling back, dazed. She nearly fell. Her husband, Daniel Gray, stood right beside her, motionless. "Mia, are you out of your goddamn mind?" Rosalie shrieked at me. "If you have a problem with me, just say it. Why would you just hit me out of nowhere? Are we not best friends anymore?" "We are," I answered, my voice firm. Of that, I had no doubt. Rosalie cradled her already swelling cheek, her face a mask of wounded betrayal. "Then talk to me. I know you have a temper, but you can't just hit people. I fought to keep my own emotions in check." "You really don't know why I did that?" She shook her head, bewildered. After a moment, she asked, "Did I do something to hurt you?" I let out a long, heavy sigh and beckoned her closer. "Come here, I'll tell you." The moment she stepped in front of me, smack, I hit her again. The fragile piece shattered. This time, I put more force behind it. A trickle of blood appeared at the corner of Rosalie's mouth. Her shock curdled into pure rage. "Mia, are you sick? I gave you an inch and you took a fucking mile," hitting me not once but twice. What seemed to infuriate her even more was that her husband, the man who should have been defending her, remained silent. "Daniel, are you even a man? Your wife is being assaulted and you don't say a single word." The guests below the stage started whispering again, their theories growing wilder. "I bet the maid of honor is sleeping with the groom. I heard the three of them grew up together. Maybe the bride stole him from her? That's why she's getting revenge on the wedding day. To be honest, she and the groom do look better together." "Enough!" Rosalie roared, silencing the crowd. She turned back, squeezing out a few tears of pure frustration. Her accusing gaze swung between me and Daniel. "Mia, are you in love with my husband? And you," she spat at Daniel, "are you still hung up on her?" Daniel's brow furrowed slightly, but he didn't answer. I looked her straight in the eye. "I have zero interest in your husband, but I'm still going to hit you again." Fear flashed in Rosalie's eyes and she scrambled backward. "Mia, please," she begged. "It's my wedding day, the most important day of my life. Can we please just talk this out? Don't hit me again." I shook my head, my expression unyielding. No, someone in the crowd couldn't take it anymore. Seeing Rosalie weeping, a guest shouted, "Is this maid of honor just jealous? Ruining someone's wedding like this? She calls herself a friend of 20 years? She acts more like an enemy." A few of Rosalie's college friends, unable to watch any longer, came up to intervene. "That's enough. Whatever Rosalie did to make you this angry, you can't do this to her today. Besides, assault is illegal. If you don't stop, we'll have you removed." My own parents, their faces burning with embarrassment, hurried over and pulled me aside. "Mia, stop this nonsense," my dad hissed. "We let you get away with arguing with Rosalie, but this is her wedding day. Don't ruin this for her family." My gaze fell back to her dress, and the hand I'd lowered started to rise again. "Mom, Dad, I'm sorry," I said, my voice heavy with sincerity. Then I lunged forward and grabbed Rosalie's arm. She shrieked and tried to hide behind her parents. "Mom, Dad, help me, get Mia out of here." But to everyone's shock, Mr. and Mrs. Lowe simply stepped aside, leaving Rosalie exposed. If my parents hadn't rushed forward to drag me back, my third slap would have already landed. My father was shaking with anger. A man who always prized reason, he looked like he was about to strike me himself. "Have you lost all sense of decorum? Is this how I raised you?" My mother joined in, her voice full of disappointment. "Mia, this constant aggression is so ill-bred. If you dare hit Rosalie again today, I will disown you." Rosalie collapsed onto the floor, sobbing hysterically, but her heart-wrenching cries didn't move me an inch. The standoff was broken by an unlikely voice. Rosalie's father. He turned to mine. "Calm down. I'm sure Mia has her reasons." Rosalie's mother defended me unconditionally, snapping at her daughter, "Stop making a scene on the floor. Mia didn't mean it. She's upset, so what if she hits you a few times?" Rosalie stomped her foot in frustration. "Dad! Mom! Whose side are you on? Who's your real daughter?" The bizarre exchange left everyone speechless. Some guests looked so confused they probably wondered if I was secretly the Lowe's biological child. I looked at my parents, my heart aching. "Mom, Dad, even if you disown me, I have to land this third slap." They stood there, helpless. They knew I wouldn't back down once my mind was made up, and they couldn't truly cut me out of their lives. Rosalie tried to fight back, but I was an athlete. She was no match for me. I rolled up my sleeves, ready to put everything I had into it. She clutched her stomach and screamed, "Don't hit me again, I'm pregnant." "So?" My voice was unnervingly calm. Even the wedding officiant couldn't stand by any longer and tried to pull me away. "Miss, you've gone too far. She's pregnant. You can't hit a pregnant woman no matter what." Rosalie nodded frantically, turning to Daniel's parents. "Mom, Dad, get her out of here. I'm carrying the Gray family's first grandchild." Daniel's parents, who had been silent this whole time, finally spoke. His mother offered a placating smile. "Ms. Song, please calm down. Whatever the issue is, I promise we will address it after the ceremony." I let out a cold, dismissive laugh. "And what if I insist on hitting her right now? Does the Gray family dare to stop me?" His father's expression hardened. "Ms. Song, what is the meaning of this? You stopped me from hitting her, and I'm pulling the investment I promised the Gray Corporation." Mr. and Mrs. Gray exchanged a look. Rosalie, feeling confident, jutted out her stomach. "I'm carrying the Gray family heir. My in-laws will never let you bully me." To the entire room's astonishment, Mr. Gray chuckled and gently pushed Rosalie forward. "Ms. Song, if you feel you must, then please go ahead. Just don't kill her." A collective gasp filled the hall. What kind of man would sacrifice his pregnant daughter-in-law for a business deal? Especially when the Grays and the Lows were both prominent, powerful families in the city. Rosalie's eyes reddened as she pleaded with her mother-in-law. "Mom, you can't let her hit me. What if something happens to the baby?" Mrs. Gray hesitated, glanced at her husband, and understood. She cooed at Rosalie. "Dear, if Ms. Song is upset, just let her get it out of her system. Once you're officially part of the family, I'll make it up to you." Rosalie's eyes widened in in disbelief. Mom, how can you say that? I'm your daughter-in-law. When she hits me, she's not just hitting me, she's slapping the face of the entire Gray family. If you let this happen, I'll be the laughingstock of the whole city. Mrs. Gray was unmoved. Getting pregnant before marriage was already disgraceful enough, she sniffed. Don't waste any more time. Let Ms. Song finish so we can get on with the wedding. She waved her hand, and 2 bodyguards stepped forward to hold Rosalie in place. Then, she turned to me with a fawning smile. Ms. Song, please. Daniel had long since stepped off the stage and was leaning against a far wall, acting as if none of this concerned him. In the world of the wealthy, love was a cheap commodity when set against profit. Rosalie stared at me, her eyes burning with hatred. Mia Song, you hit me one more time, and I swear I will make you pay for this. I pinched her chin, carefully angling her face. Good, I said, my voice flat. I'll be waiting. But she was scared. She could see it in my eyes. This last slap was going to hurt. I'm calling the police, she shrieked, her voice raw with fear. Someone, help me call the police. Instantly, guests in the audience pulled out their phones. Daniel, who had been a statue this whole time, finally moved. He strode onto the stage and snatched the microphone from the officiant. Nobody calls the police. At his command, his security team moved swiftly through the crowd, confiscating phones. The guests looked on, utterly baffled. Daniel had been perfectly content to watch his bride get beaten, but the moment she mentioned the police, he sprang into action. The whispers started again. Is there really something going on between him and the Song heiress? He's protecting her instead of his own wife and child. Rosalie stared from me to Daniel, her face a canvas of horror. Daniel, are you actually cheating on me with Mia? He didn't confirm or deny it. She began pounding on his chest. How could you do this to me? I'm carrying your child. He grabbed her wrists and shoved her away. That's enough. Daniel Gray, you ungrateful bastard, she screamed, utterly hysterical. I watched her melt down, but my resolve to deliver that final slap never wavered. Rosalie wiped the tears from her face, her expression hardening into a vicious threat aimed at Daniel. And what if I insist on calling them? A flicker of something like relief crossed Daniel's face. He gave a careless shrug. You call them. We get a divorce. Rosalie froze, clearly not expecting him to be so casual about ending their marriage. You'd divorce me over a phone call? Daniel, do you even have a conscience? His face was a mask of indifference. You call the police. I file for divorce. Rosalie, don't, Mrs. Gray pleaded, grabbing her arm. This was just about a slap. Don't let it escalate to a divorce. It's not worth it. Even I was curious. How far would Daniel go? Would he really divorce the woman he'd been with for 10 years? A woman everyone knew he doted on, just to stop her from calling the police? His behavior today had shattered everyone's image of their perfect love story. I couldn't understand it. If he cared so little for her, why marry her at all? But I had a feeling I was about to find out. Faced with Daniel's ultimatum, Rosalie's heart broke. Everyone assumed the wedding was over. Suddenly, she spun around and shoved me to the ground. Blinded by rage, she was a different person from the gentle girl I knew. She blamed me for everything. Mia, are you happy now that you've ruined my life? None of this would have happened if it weren't for you. Now Daniel wants to divorce me. Are you really this cruel? Was I? I was risking a lifelong friendship, the relationship between our families, and my own reputation. Everyone was confused, but Rosalie, she couldn't possibly be blind to my motives. The reason for this third slap, I said, my voice ringing with authority. After I'm done, I'll tell you everything. Rosalie tilted her face up, a look of grim acceptance in her eyes, and waited for the blow. But I didn't strike immediately. She trembled. What are you waiting for? Why don't you just do it? And then I said something that shocked everyone. Weren't you going to call the police? I'm waiting for you to do it. My complete lack of fear finally pushed her over the edge. Mia, do you think you can humiliate me like this just because your family is more powerful than mine? Fine, I'll call them right now. Let's see how arrogant you are when the police get here. Just as she was about to dial, Daniel snatched the phone and smashed it on the floor. His raw, furious roar was deafening. I told you, no police. Do you think I'm joking? Daniel had his assistant produce a set of divorce papers. You make that call today and we're going straight to the courthouse. Tears streamed down Rosalie's face. She was completely torn. Calmly, I pulled out my own phone. If you won't call them, I will. The entire room gasped. What was this? I was calling the police on myself.